Hi, I'm back with another video, and this time is my newest Amazon purchase, which I had to get a refund on. It's the Symbol Deluxe Oscillating 16-inch 3 adjustable speed pedestal stand fan, and it was a 2-pack. We needed a fan because around here, I think I said it before, it's still kind of going back and forth between summer and fall and winter all in one. And so, like, one morning it'll be cold, then by afternoon it's hot, and then at night it might be cooler or it might be cold, and so it was doing that each day so far. And so our fan had died, and so we needed another one. And so I saw they had this 2-pack, and we were like, I've never seen a 2-pack fan one before. So we had to wait. I ordered it, I think it was Friday or Saturday, and it came in on Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday. So it came in on Wednesday, and so we were sitting here waiting for it, and finally comes in, and the guy hands one big box, and it's like it's all in that, not a huge box, but a pretty good sized box, and we're like, it's all in one box. I was expecting 2 boxes. So when I opened it up, there was like another box inside of it. So it was all in the box inside of the box. So I had to tip it over, dump it out to get it to come out, or pull it out. I was having such a hard time. Then it was taped good and tight, so I'm like, oh. So that took a little bit longer. And then going through each piece, they had everything, like they had a bunch of small pieces plus the screws and whatever else like that to tighten it with. They had it all in like one baggie. And of course the screws and stuff were at the very bottom, so when you're pulling stuff out and everything gets knocked out or everything gets dumped out, it goes flying everywhere. So we were having to find pieces that fell on the floor, and then there were pieces that we didn't know that somehow ended up on the floor and we're trying to find. And so once we found all the pieces, we go to put it together, and all of a sudden we can't figure out why it's not going together from the base to the motor. And we're sitting there and we're looking, and it's like, it's all the pieces. And I'm like, yeah, this is all the pieces. It's everything I pulled out. I pulled out both sets of stuff, looking to make sure what went to what, one fan and what went to the other fan, so I can make sure that I didn't like take out too much stuff and find out the other fan didn't have its stuff. And so I'm going, yeah, that was all in there. There's nothing else. And finally, I went back to Amazon and started looking at all the pictures and all the pictures of other fans. And I'm going, we're missing a base. We're missing the thing for the base. A pole. That's it. We're missing a pole. And all of a sudden I realized we were missing poles. And so we're looking through all the bags and through the box, and we're like, that's all that was in there, and there's no poles. Because we were like, that explains why they won't go together. There's no poles. You can't put them together and get the base onto the motor if there's no pole in between to make it go up and down, so that you can extend it up to the level you want. And so I had to, so first I went on there and I asked a question asking if there was a pole supposed to be with it. The question said I think it said they couldn't confirm it. They suggested calling Amazon or the manufacturer to find out. And when I did that, when I asked the question, all of a sudden there were other questions popping up asking the same thing. Were there poles? Were there pieces missing? And I didn't see anybody mentioning anything about poles missing or anything like that. I did see like people talking about how it took a little bit for the fans to be put together, but once you got it together, it worked, pretty quickly after that. I did see a few people talking about how the instructions were kind of difficult to figure out. I saw somebody had said something about they had like extra parts, and they were hoping everything would be fine after that. That would scare me to have extra parts and not know what they were for. And so after I found that out, I called them, and I called Amazon and asked them. And I'm like, there's no poles in it. We can't get it together. There's no poles to put the fan together, and so we can't connect it. I'm like, so what? It's like, what do we do? And so they went looking, and they're like, well, we can't do a replacement. The first person said they can't do a replacement. They didn't know why. Just they couldn't do it. So he was like, do you want to figure out if you can get another pole, on your own, or do you want a refund? So I said I'd call him back, and we discussed it. And so I called him back and told the next person the same story, and they said, I'm like, well, I guess we just refund it since we can't do a replacement. And she went looking, and she said, yeah, for whatever reason you can't do a replacement to get the parts. So she said, we'll just go ahead and do your refund. And so I have got my refund. It's going to come in 5 to 7 days back into the bank. And so I'm like, okay. So this is my first time doing a refund, so it was pretty okay getting the refund done. And we boxed everything back up. And it was a hard time getting everything back up in the box. My dad was like, "Are you sure this all went into the same box?" I said, "Yeah, it was all in one box inside the big box." And he was like shocked that it all fit in there, and we had a hard time getting it all back in the box. And then we were discussing how there was no poles in it, and I told him about the person saying there were extra parts in theirs, and people saying that the directions were hard to figure out. Because that's the first thing I noticed was the directions were hard to figure out. The diagram was hard to figure out, and it didn't mention anything about a pole. But when you went looking at the picture, it looked like there was supposed to be a pole. And then when you go online and you look at pictures of fans, you know, the pole that's supposed to connect everything. And there was mentions from people saying there said no, there was no poles on there mentioned. And then people were trying to figure out what some of those parts were for. That was something else we couldn't figure out. Was some of those parts, what were they for? Like they had like 4 pieces of black parts, and we're like, how do they connect with each other? Like, how do they connect to the fan? How do they connect together? Where do they go? And we couldn't figure out. We still have no idea what they were for. And then they said to put something on the bottom towards the base to the bottom part from the top of the base down to the bottom where it stands, and to I think click it in or screw it in or something. And my dad couldn't figure out how to do that, and he was like, I don't know how they expect you to do that. I don't see anywhere where you're supposed to do that. So that was a hard thing to do. And so, yeah, when we're sitting there like, what are these parts for? And where's the poles? And how are we supposed to put this together? So we finally gave up. Like I said, we got the refund. So money's supposed to be in like 5 to 7 days. So I think we're going to stick with going to Walmart from here on out to get our fans, because um, no, they don't last for forever, but they usually last for a little while for us. They're a lot cheaper because I paid for the 2 pack. It was like, I think it was $69.99. I think it was, plus the tax and all that. So I think it was like 72 or 73 with my Amazon Prime getting it free delivery. It took, like I said, I ordered it. I want to say it was Friday or Saturday, and it didn't come in until Wednesday. And it came in a million part pieces, which I did see people talking about how they were not expecting it to come into like a million pieces, and you had to put it all back together. Because my dad was like, you go to Walmart, you get the fan, they got some of that stuff already put together. All you gotta do is just finish putting it together. So that was something else that was hard, was trying to figure out all the pieces. And then the diagram and the instructions were not that great. They were not, like I said, people were complaining that they were not that easy to follow. Nobody could figure out what they were talking about. That people were like, there's stuff on there that they couldn't figure out what the pieces were for. Mentioning pieces that I don't think were in the box. And then, like I said, I saw people saying that there was no mention of some of this stuff that was missing from the box. And so I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go back to Walmart because it's a lot cheaper to buy 1 or 2 of those. So this is my very first Amazon refund, and the last time I think I'll buy a fan from them for a while. Thank you for watching. Bye.